Police are telling students.
We do have a lot to get to this morning. We want to first start with Wayne in the Action Weather Center. He's watching a little bit of fog out there this morning.
Exactly right. No rain, but we do have some fog. Let's go to radar. We'll show you where that is. It's mostly light, too. Fog and haze just east and north of Tampa Bay. One spot, a couple of spots where it's a little bit thicker. Up at Brooksville and Crystal River, visibilities there are down to 1/2 mile, but we have no rain across the region. And up at Crystal River, for you folks, we have, and here's part of the reason why that fog's a little bit thicker. The atmosphere there is totally saturated, both the actual temperature and the dew point at 69 degrees. So the atmosphere can't hold any more moisture. That's why it's we've got the fog there. Winds out of the north at 3 miles per hour. Now, here is our day ahead. We'll have partly cloudy skies after the fog goes away, starting off in Tampa in the low to mid 70s and getting up to the mid 80s this afternoon with only a 20% chance of an isolated shower. Now let's check in with Meredith for that early morning traffic.
Well, I noticed some fog here along I-4 Craft Road in the Lakeland area just a few moments ago, but it actually looks even better now. So I think those foggy conditions, as Wayne mentioned, are going to be really patchy this morning. Let's take you over and show you what it looks like closer to Tampa, I-75, near the Selman, northbound and southbound. So far, so good. Accident in Pinellas County. Police on scene in Dunedin, Main Street at Keene Road, but EMS has already left the scene, so it doesn't look like a big deal there. And in Pasco, look out for an accident at 52 and US 41. FHP on scene reporting no roadblock. Another update in a few minutes. Stan, back to you.
Thank you, Meredith. 6:01 new this morning. Hillsborough fire investigators looking into the cause of a fire that forced a family out of their home overnight. That call came in just before midnight from this house on Spring Valley Lane in Town and Country. A family of 3 adults lives there, waking up to the smell of smoke early today, running out of the house, calling 911. Fire officials believe that fire started in the roof and then smoldered, getting very smoky. Crews were able to contain the fire to the roof area, but there is extensive damage to the house, enough so that the family will not be able to live there for a while. The Red Cross is now assisting that family with a place to stay. Thankfully, no one was injured. The fire chief does remind us this is Fire Safety Week. There were smoke detectors in the home. The residents thankfully smelled that smoke even before those fire detectors went off, or smoke detectors rather went off.
Well, Dan, we are following some troubling information that is just into our newsroom overnight. There's new word of another assault on the USF campus this morning. For the second time in just a few weeks, this relatively quiet campus is now buzzing again, and students are again worried. These attacks didn't happen far from each other. The first one was reported in Kappa Hall, the other in Epsilon. Our Laura Harris is live on the campus this morning with these new developments, including why police now say they're looking for completely separate suspects. Good morning, Laura.
Good morning, Dia. 2 differences in these cases. Apparently, the attacker from over the weekend, police are saying the woman involved in that attack, she did know who that person was. 3 weeks ago, they're saying that person did not know their attacker. University police were notified just yesterday evening around 9:40. They got the call about the sexual assault that happened on Sunday morning. They can tell us that as of right now, both suspects in both cases have not been caught. But we do want to remind you of what that person looked like in the first case, that one that happened September 19th. They were white male, 5'10" to 5'11", 180 to 190 pounds, sunken in eyes with shaggy hair. And the attacker, they say that he didn't have any facial hair. Now, that was for that one. At this time, we don't have a description of the person that was responsible for the attack Sunday morning. But of course, we will stay on top of this and give you the very latest as soon as we get it. Hopefully, we'll be able to talk to some students, and hopefully police will have more to go on a little bit later on. If you know anything, though, you're asked to call the police at 813-974-2628. That's the USF Police at 813-974-2628. Live at the University of South Florida, Laura Harris, ABC Action News.
Thank you, Laura. 4 minutes after 6 now. The talk is getting tough on the campaign trail this morning. 1 month from today, Americans will head to the polls for Election Day. And with just 4 weeks to go, each candidate is making his case to voters.
We don't want another mess. We can't allow that to happen. I won't allow it to happen. And that's why I'm running for a second term for President of the United States of America.
America needs this new direction. We cannot go on the path we've been on. We must restore America's strength, and I will do it with your help.
Today, both President Obama and Mitt Romney will be in the battleground state of Ohio, and we have seen both of them making several stops here in Florida, another crucial state where every single vote counts. And here's some proof of that. Take a look at this. A new Pew Research Center poll, which covers the days immediately following the first presidential debate, shows Mitt Romney now swinging ahead of President Obama among likely voters, 49 to 45%, and they're now tied among registered voters at 46%. Well, today is the last day to register to vote if you plan to cast a ballot in the November election. Election offices in Hillsborough and Pinellas counties will be open later today. It's open until 7 o'clock this evening in Hillsborough County and 6 o'clock in Pinellas County. Also, mailed applications have to be postmarked by today, October 9th, for you to be eligible. And we are just a few days away from the only vice presidential debate. This video came down on the feeds overnight. It shows crews hard at work in Danville, Kentucky at the site of Thursday's debate. Meanwhile, overnight, we learned that Mitt Romney is skipping the chance to take part in a Kids Pick the President special on Nickelodeon. President Obama is scheduled to participate. That program, which airs later this month, includes videotaped questions for the candidates from children nationwide. Afterward, viewers can vote on their pick for president. Happening today, the Hillsborough County School Board is going to decide the fate of a King High School teacher. At 3 o'clock this afternoon, the school board plans to meet to decide whether to suspend Karen McGuire. She's a teacher accused of helping kids cheat on exams by giving them the answers. McGuire reportedly provided students with multiple chances to answer exam questions. She's even accused of writing answers on the board during tests. The school board is expected to suspend McGuire without pay pending her possible termination. We are hoping to try to talk with McGuire to get her take on the punishment once it's handed down. So stay with ABC Action News for updates on that. In Dade City, the Pasco County Commission is expected to discuss a proposed gun range near Pilot Country Estates. Residents say they're opposed to the gun range going in next door because they're worried about the noise and also the danger of stray bullets flying into their community. Today's meeting is going to happen at 1:30. Look for an update on ABC Action News beginning at 5 o'clock.
Just about 6:07 now. New developments in a murder case against George Zimmerman. For the first time, we are now hearing from Zimmerman's mother. The next hearing in the case is scheduled for a week from Friday. That hearing will address discovery issues, including applications for subpoenas. Zimmerman's attorneys will ask the judge to give them access to victim Trayvon Martin's school and social media records. Last night on Piers Morgan Tonight, Gladys Zimmerman was asked if she has thought about what will happen if her son is found guilty of second-degree murder.
I believe from the beginning that, he is innocent. And, I mean, the media had played a big role against my son. They had portrayed him in a bad picture. But there is justice in America, and I believe in justice.
Zimmerman's attorneys are also asking to delay the trial proceedings. They say they have as many as 75 more witness depositions to complete before they are ready to go to trial.
Now here's a health alert that we need to tell you about this morning. The generic version of a popular antidepressant apparently is not working for some people. The FDA says tests show that the generic version of Wellbutrin XL is not as effective. Hundreds of patients complained, sparking an FDA investigation. The company now says there are no safety issues associated with their generic products. A Kentucky cheese company is recalling several varieties of cheese this morning due to the possible listeria contamination in those cheeses. Kenny's Farmhouse Cheese released a statement saying the bacteria can cause serious and sometimes deadly infections in young children, the elderly, and those with weakened immune systems. The cheese was sold to farmers markets here in Florida and several other states between August 22nd and September 25th.
And on this National Moldy Cheese Day, if you're lucky enough to get out over the waters, this morning it could be very nice. Northeasterly winds at 5 to 10 knots, 1-foot seas, a light chop of the bay and inland waters. There are major tides for today. The major high tide comes at 9:02 this morning. Sun comes up at 7:27.
9 minutes after 6 now. First responders pull a lifeless dog from a burning house. Still ahead, see how they were able to save this cherished family pet.
Also ahead, falling back to earth, the record attempt that begins in less than 2 hours.
Right now, here's a look at our job of the day, courtesy of our partners at Job News Tampa. You are watching ABC Action News this Tuesday morning. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
When Severe weather is on the way. Get the latest online or download our app.
Score big during Truck Month at Elder Ford of Tampa, home of the $5,000 test drive, where the Ford F-150 is ranked highest in initial quality, best-in-class towing and payload, best-in-class horsepower and torque, and best-in-class fuel economy. Touchdown! Lease the best-selling truck for $299 a month, only at Elder Ford of Tampa.
Hi, I'm Rob Elder, and I'm looking forward to giving you $5,000.
Visit Elder Ford today on North Florida Avenue or shop 24/7 at elderfordoftampa.com.
Millionaires versus Medicare. How does Connie Mack weigh the choice? Mack opposed Medicare coverage for prescription drugs, supports a budget plan that guts Medicare funding, turns Medicare into a voucher program, and would force seniors to pay $6,400 more in out-of-pocket costs. Connie Mack supported these devastating cuts while supporting even more tax breaks for millionaires. But that's Connie Mack. His finger's on the scale for millionaires. The Democratic Senatorial Campaign Committee is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Attention shoppers, hit it girls! Marshalls has the hottest trends. Designers you can't resist at prices you will not believe. Designer fashion for way less. What's not to love? Marshalls, never pay full price for fabulous.
It's the final week of the Columbus Day event at Ashley Furniture Home Store. Discover what's new with the grand reopening of our Lakeland store. Still celebrating at all 5 Tampa area locations. Save on our new Metro Modern collection. Plus 48 months no interest at Ashley Furniture Home Store.
Today, a fever will be treated with warmth. A cut with more than a bandage. Today, a twisted ankle will come with a nice shoulder to lean on. Because today, the most considerate and professional urgent care will be found right around the corner at MedExpress. Just like it is every day.
MedExpress is now open at multiple locations in your area. MedExpress, great care, fast.
With a Disney annual pass, once-in-a-lifetime moments can happen again, and again, and again. And with the monthly payment program for Florida residents, making those moments happen is easier than ever. Pick up your Disney annual pass today and let the memories begin at the place where dreams come true.
Injured? Get legal help from local attorneys free at TampaBayLaw.tv.
Welcome back. 72 degrees this morning under partly cloudy skies. A little patchy fog being reported in some spots, as you can see in these live pictures at 6:12. Meredith and Wayne standing by with traffic and weather together here in just a moment. Well, in less than 2 hours, skydiver slash daredevil slash extreme athlete will attempt a skydive from the edge of space. Felix Baumgartner is his name, and he will jump from a height of 120,000 feet. Put this in perspective. Commercial jets fly at about 30 to 34,000 feet, so this is 4 times higher than that. He will get there tethered to a balloon, about a 3-hour trip, and once at the edge of the stratosphere, he will step out and then free fall, reaching speeds of more than 679 miles per hour. That would break the sound barrier, the first time that has ever been done by a skydiver. The entire jump will only last about 15 minutes. He's supposed to land softly in New Mexico. Here's a look at the website for the record-breaking jump, RedBullStratos.com. You can watch it as it happens live, as we said, beginning at 8 o'clock this morning. As many as 24 cameras capturing every angle of this leap of faith. The experienced skydiver and extreme athlete, he hopes to make that leap of his life today, attempting the highest, fastest free fall in history. And again, that happens starting at 8 o'clock. He is known as Fearless Felix. Could be the first skydiver, as I mentioned, to break the sound barrier. And he's watching the weather carefully, we're told, Wayne, because even a 2-mile-per-hour breeze would be way too much for that very delicate balloon to make that attempt to lift him off into the stratosphere.
Wow, that is something. Well, our weather is pretty calm. In fact, calm winds help produce fog. When you don't have the atmosphere mixing, fog is a little bit more likely to develop. And we've got almost completely calm winds across most of our region. Mostly light fog and haze just east of the bay and up to the north. It's a little thicker at Brooksville and also Crystal River, where visibilities there are down to 1/2 mile. Now, there's no rain anywhere in our viewing area at the moment, and most of us will probably stay dry today. At most, we've got just a 20% chance of an isolated shower this afternoon as our weak cool front moves down down across our region. I want to show you St. Petersburg at the moment. Partly cloudy skies, 77 degrees, and there the winds are calm. Elsewhere around our region, 74 degrees in Tampa, 72 up at Brooksville. Brandon has dropped to 69 degrees. Everybody else in the interior sections are either 70 or 71. For the most part, low 70s this morning. We may get some other spots getting down to the upper 60s before sunrise. Here is our cold front. Excuse me. Excuse me. And this front will spend the day sweeping down across the state. It's a weak front, but it's strong enough to help lift the moisture out ahead of it to give us that slight chance of rain. And then behind it, drier air starts to filter in, and then we'll have rain chances wiped out for the rest of the week. Our forecast starts at 9 o'clock this morning. We'll go through the day, and again by late afternoon, early evening hours, a slight chance of a few scattered showers moving across our area. And then we start off and go through Wednesday, mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies and no rain expected. Wednesday night into Thursday, just about the same. We'll actually have on Wednesday night and Thursday a secondary dry front come through, and it will give us a reinforcing shot of that dry air to keep weather on the dry side for us for the rest of the week. Here's the way it looks for today, Wednesday and Thursday. Clear to partly cloudy skies, that fog this morning and again tomorrow morning, but today just a 20% chance of showers and highs in the mid to upper 80s. Then from Friday through the weekend and the beginning of next week, partly cloudy skies, dry conditions, and highs remaining in the upper 80s. Now let's take a look with Meredith on that morning traffic.
You know, Wayne, it's all that moldy cheese you've been eating. That's why you're choked up. Hey, I wanted to show you the fog. If we could go to our first traffic source just to mention this, because we are seeing some patchy fog in some areas. Seems to be the worst right now, I-4 McIntosh Road in Hillsborough County, but traffic moving along just fine. Keep in mind our traffic cameras are pointing down on the foggy situation, so it could make it look a bit worse than it actually is. Okay, let's go back to that other camera. It looks really nice here. Rocky Point. This is the Tampa side of the Courtney Campbell Causeway. Wanted to mention this because there will be some construction closures on the Courtney Campbell later today. Over to the maps we go to mention that closure. It'll be 9 a.m. and afterwards. One lane closed in the eastbound direction closer to the Clearwater side. They're going to be doing some lighting repairs, so just heads up on that. Right now the Howard, Franklin, and Gandy bridges are up to speed. 275 through Pinellas County also pretty quiet with a 15-minute trek from the Sunshine Skyway to the Howard Franklin. Road construction updates are available on Twitter at Tampa Bay Traffic. Dia, back to you.
Thank you, Meredith. 17 minutes after 6 now. Happening today in Hillsborough County, a newly created Animal Services Task Force will hold its first meeting. The goal of this meeting is to develop a plan to reduce the number of animals that are put down every year. Commissioners want this task force to study no-kill ordinances in other areas and come up with a financially feasible plan for Hillsborough County that will reduce the number of animals that are put down. That meeting happens tonight at 6 o'clock. We plan to be there. Well, pets have become a priority in the city of Arlington, Texas, where firefighters now go to every scene of every fire, prepared to save not just people, but also their four-legged friends. The owner of this home that went up in flames here was out of town when his house caught fire with his dog and his cat inside. Well, when his dad stopped by to feed the animals, he saw flames inside the house and immediately called 911. The firefighters who headed to the scene sprang into action to save Leah, the owner's border collie.
They went through 5 bottles of oxygen for her and probably 3 to 4 breathing treatments, the same kind of breathing treatments we would administer to humans.
Well, the firefighters were able to save Leah, but sadly they were not able to save the owner's cat. The firefighters say they carry 3 sizes of pet oxygen masks with them to every fire they respond to, so they have the best chance of saving people and also their beloved pets.
6:18 now. Yellow Fury coming up, the traffic device upsetting drivers in the Big Apple.
It is shocking to me when I sit and look at this and find myself having to tell my 12-year-old some of these concepts.
Sex ed shocker. School is using cartoons to teach kids about sex. Coming up after the break, why some parents say it's too much too soon. But first this morning, dates have been set for Windows 8 phones and yet another Angry Birds game. Meredith is over there cheering right now. Here's Ralph Nelson with your Morning Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, more signs of the iPad mini. Asian companies that supply components to Apple say they've received orders for more than 10 million smaller iPad tablets. There's no confirmation from Apple for the iPad mini, but an announcement is expected next month. And you'll be able to order the first Windows 8 phones later this month. The Verge website says AT&T will begin taking pre-orders October 21st with delivery early next month. Almost two-thirds of technology executives think Mitt Romney would be better for their industry than Barack Obama. But the same survey finds that 3/4 expect the president to win re-election. So far, Mr. Obama is ahead in fundraising in Silicon Valley. And it appears the force is with the hottest mobile game franchise. Angry Birds Star Wars will be available next month. Combining the birds with the popular movie franchise, clothing, costumes, and action figures go on sale soon. Those are your Tech Bites. I'm Rob Nelson.
If you have rheumatoid arthritis, can you start the day the way you want? Can Orencia help? Could your I want become I can? Talk to your doctor. Orencia reduces many RA symptoms like pain, morning stiffness, and progression of joint damage. It's helped new RA patients and those not helped enough by other treatments.
Do not take Orencia with another biologic medicine for RA due to an increased risk of serious infection. Serious side effects can occur, including fatal infections. Cases of lymphoma and lung cancer have been reported. Tell your doctor if you are prone to or have any infection like an open sore or the flu, or a history of COPD, a chronic lung disease. Orencia may worsen your COPD.
Now, learn about a program committed to you and copay assistance that can reduce monthly Orencia out-of-pocket drug costs to $5. If you're not satisfied after 6 months, you get that money back. Call 1-800-ORENCIA.
It's fall. Fall brings longer nights. Longer nights mean trying new things. New things like the butternut Asiago tortellacci. While the nights may last longer, fall is only here for a short time. Get a taste of the season while you can. Only at Romano's Macaroni Grill.
While politicians in both parties blame each other for America's problems, one leader is focused on finding solutions. Gus Bilirakis, delivering increased benefits for our veterans and military families, protecting Social Security and Medicare for today's seniors and future generations, and working with small business to help them create jobs and get our economy moving again. Gus Bilirakis. He's fighting for us every day and winning.
I'm Gus Bilirakis, and I approve this message.
The Toyota Camry has never settled for second best. Its numbers have always stood out from the pack. And if you think it's better than the competition on paper, wait till you get it on the road. The one, the only, Toyota Camry. Redefining the class once again.
Right now, lease a new 2012 Camry for $199 a month for 24 months. Plus, your maintenance is covered with Toyota Care for 2 years.
What do the politicians in Tallahassee want? Absolute power, even over our courts. That's why they're trying to remove 3 fair and impartial Supreme Court justices, so they can replace almost half the court with judges who will let them bend the rules. Newspapers call it a power grab, political intimidation, and a hijack of our justice system. Want to stop the politicians from trying to take over the Supreme Court? Then stand up for our justices against this political power grab.
That's right.
Good morning, everybody. 23 minutes past 6 o'clock. You're looking at a live picture of I-4 Kingsway Road this morning. Is some haze, is some fog. In most spots, it's light, but please take care on your way to work. Let's take a look at our bus stop forecast for this morning. In fact, bus stop forecast going both ways. This morning, low to mid-70s, and that patchy fog is possible in some spots. And as you pick up the kids on their way home, just a 20% chance of an isolated shower this afternoon.
It is 6:23 now. A new study out this morning suggests the Protestant majority is now a minority. The Pew Forum on Religion and Public Life says the percentage of Protestant adults in the U.S. has fallen to 48%. At the same time, the number of Americans with no religious affiliation has increased from 15 to 20% in the last 5 years. Those in the unaffiliated group include people who still say they believe in God and pray daily. Also new this morning, parents in Harris County, Texas are speaking out about concerns over a new sex education curriculum that is aimed at their children. The program is called It's Your Game. It includes scenes of teens hooking up and shows cartoons buying condoms. Well, many parents don't like what their 7th graders are being exposed to with this new curriculum, and they are expressing their opinions at an emotional meeting that happened at the school district offices.
Every bit of this program, even the name of it, is disrespectful, so we're opting completely out.
One of the main complaints that parents have is that abstinence is not emphasized above other choices in this new program.
Well, in the past few years, more Bay Area communities added red light cameras in an effort to reduce accidents and generate some income. And now there's a new backlash over the traffic devices. AAA says red light cameras in New York City are not fair to drivers because the yellow lights don't stay yellow long enough. Of 24 lights AAA looked at in the city, 100% of them were not timed correctly, up to 2 seconds shorter than they're supposed to be. Some New Yorkers now believe the cameras are just there to bring in revenue for the city.
We have someone who's trying to just generate revenue on working people's back, plain and simple.
Well, let's just say that in our region, it seems that whenever municipalities, whenever the city or the state is cash-starved, the motorist is the path of first resort.
The city says the cameras actually work on a second delay, so any minor violations aren't counted. AAA says, what's the harm in lengthening the yellow light times?
Coming up on ABC Action News this morning, stopping the sale of synthetic drugs. Next at 6:30, hear one county's plan to keep them off store shelves and away from your kids.
Live look from Action Air 1 this morning. Pretty quiet so far on the roads. Hopefully we'll keep it that way. We'll check in with Captain Al in the chopper for an update on the other side of the break.
ABC Action News is brought to you by Empire Today.
Name brand carpet, 70% off. Beautiful styles and colors, 70% off. Carpet for any room, 70% off during Empire's huge warehouse sale. Save 70% on quality carpet and get the great service you'd expect. Plus professional installation when you want, even next day. Empire's huge warehouse sale. Your last chance this year to save 70% on carpet. Call today.
800-588-2300 Empire.
Today. Move to Metro and put your speed on with lightning fast 4G LTE. Unlimited, no data caps, now as low as $50 a month. That's one smart plan for stupid cheap. Only at Metro PCS. Wireless for all.
I may have retired from the game, but not from being big. Good thing one car gives me full-size luxury and 36 miles per gallon, which is nice because I've got shoes that are bigger than most hybrids and more stylish, too. If you don't know the luxurious yet fuel-efficient LaCrosse, you don't know Buick.
Now lease this EPA-estimated 36 highway MPG LaCrosse for around $279 per month. Consider it a new lease on luxury.
I got help saving money from the energy experts, Progress Energy. They helped me get my air ducts tested for leaks. They said if your ducts leak, it's like your money is just blowing away. Fixing them was easy. Plus, I got a rebate of $150 from Progress Energy. So I saved money on my repairs, lowered my heating and cooling costs, and the house stays more comfortable. We should have done this years ago.
Get help saving energy and money with duct repair rebates from Progress Energy.
Before the Tampa Bay Bucks, Nixon was president, disco was on the rise, and Bill Young was in Congress.
I'm Jessica Ehrlich, and Bill Young is a nice man, but after 42 years in Congress, he's lost touch. Why else would he vote twice for the Ryan budget that ends the current Medicare system? Seniors pay thousands more each year, and the wealthy get more tax cuts. I approved this message because we need a fresh approach. It's not working now.
Paying with your smartphone instead of cash. That's a step forward. With Chase Quick Pay, you can send money directly to anyone's checking account.
I guess he's a kicker. No, you don't.
Take a step forward and chase what matters.
Everybody's moving to Metro for the new LG Motion 4G. 4G LTE fast with Android's new 4.0. And now for only $149 with no annual contract. Get the LG Motion 4G now at Metro PCS.
ABC Action News is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Live from the station taking action for you. This is ABC Action News.
Keeping families safe and getting dangerous drugs off Bay Area streets. Today, one county is moving forward with a plan to stop places from selling synthetic drugs. We have an early look at what they are planning to do.
And we're just hours away from the sentencing of Jerry Sandusky. And we're hearing from the former coach himself this morning. We'll also look at how much time he could spend behind bars.
And this election year, we've all heard a lot about the middle class. A report just released in the past 30 minutes now shows what middle class families are really facing. Good morning, everybody, and thank you for waking up with ABC. I'm Dee O'Reilly.
Hey, good morning. I'm Dan Schaefer. Very busy Tuesday, October the 9th. Got a lot to get to. We're going to begin with meteorologist Wayne Shattuck. Streets are dry for the morning commute, Wayne, but there is some fog in spots.
There is some fog in a number of spots, but fortunately, most of that fog is light. Let's go to radar. We can show you that there is no rain, as Dan mentioned, but there's fog and there's haze out there, generally east and north of the bay. The thickest of it now is up at Brooksville at 3/4 of a mile. Elsewhere, much lighter fog and haze being reported in many spots. Let's take a look at current conditions right now in Haines City. You folks have 71 degrees, and at the moment, your winds are completely calm. And our day ahead gets us into the low to mid 80s at noon under partly cloudy skies. And this afternoon, mid 80s for highs and just a 20% chance of an isolated shower. Now, let's check that morning traffic with Mary.
Thank you, Wayne. We're going to get started in Polk County, where we've been watching some fog this morning. Right now, though, visibility not too bad along the I-4 corridor. This is near exit 33 in Lakeland. Pinellas County, you've been really quiet this morning. North and southbound, south of downtown, also up to speed. Let's go to Hillsborough County, I-75. Travel time from Gibsonton Drive up to I-4 of just 10 minutes. No problems on I-4, Veterans Expressway. Captain Al is checking 275 for us this morning. Good morning, Al.
Hey, good morning, Mayor. Good Tuesday morning, everybody. Well, we took off from Tampa International and, of course, looked at the Courtney Campbell, Howard Franklin bridges. They were fine. 275 into downtown, and then we came north. Right on up here to Bush Boulevard. You might look familiar to you a little bit. Those headlights certainly will, from Bierce all the way to Bush. And then on into downtown. It's getting very busy, but no delays. There is road work, looks like on Nebraska Avenue just north of Bush. They might be wrapping that up. A little bit of a delay there, but otherwise that'll all be moved out of the way here shortly. Now back to the desk.
Thank you, Captain Al. It is 6:32 now. Happening today, our assignment desk is making plans right now to send a camera crew to a meeting between angry homeowners and the builder they say is to blame for their discontent. A new chapter is beginning in this fight over what these owners call faulty homes. People living in the Willowbrook community say they still don't have any answers about water damage and mold inside their homes. They blame the builder, KB Homes, and say they want to stop the company from building more homes to protect other people. Well, this morning, people from Willowbrook will be at the Manatee County Commissioners meeting to talk about their problems. You will hear from them today on ABC Action News at noon. Another big story that we're also watching this morning, Pasco County Commissioners are getting set to look over a plan to get tough on businesses that sell the synthetic drugs like K2 and Spice. Our John Thomas joins us now live to explain this new crackdown. Good morning, John.
Well, good morning. You know, that crackdown really comes in the form of an ordinance, a county ordinance to target the sale of K2 and Spice. And you know, when you talk about K2 and Spice, you're really almost talking in generic terms, and you're referring to synthetic drugs. And you know, what they're doing is they're proposing to make it a violation to sell products that are mislabeled. So that's why they're targeting synthetic drugs. Many synthetic drugs do not contain a list of ingredients, or they are displayed or labeled as something they are not, like bath salts or potpourri.
The direction that we've moved in is just making it more all-inclusive. And the way that the ordinance that we've worked to draft in Pasco County works is it's more targeting the packaging and the labeling on the items rather than what's actually included in it.
So in an effort to do that, the County Commission is going to take a look at that proposed ordinance at 10 o'clock this morning. And basically what the ordinance says is if you have these products, if they're on your store shelves and they are mislabeled, you're selling them, well, you are facing a fine of $500 for each product that they find. Back to you.
Thank you, John. It is 6:34 now. Convicted pedophile Jerry Sandusky is just hours away from learning his fate today. Later this morning, the former Penn State assistant coach is scheduled to be the final speaker at a hearing. The judge will then hand down a sentence that even lawyers for Sandusky say is likely to send him to prison for the rest of his life. He's convicted of 45 counts involving 10 victims over 15 years. He met most, if not all, of the boys through a charity for at-risk youth that he founded in 1977. The 68-year-old maintains his innocence and says he is planning to appeal. The penalty phase in the murder trial of Leon Davis is scheduled to start in just a few hours here in the Bay Area. Davis was found guilty of first-degree murder for killing 2 BP store clerks in Lake Alfred back in 2007. State prosecutors are seeking the death penalty for those convictions. So today the court will hear testimony for and against a death sentence in this case. Davis has been on death row for more than a year now following a 2011 guilty verdict for robbing and killing 2 insurance clerks in Lake Wales after it would happen a week after the BP killings. Count on us to let you know as soon as a decision is made. Meanwhile, another hearing that we're also going to be watching today, the suspect in the murder of a University of Tampa student is expected in court. Tampa police say David Earl Williams tried to rob Ryan McCall as McCall was walking home in 2009. Williams is accused of shooting and killing McCall.
New this morning, some bad news for the world economy from the International Monetary Fund. Plagued by uncertainty and fresh setbacks, the IMF says the world economy has weakened further and will grow more slowly over the next year. The International Lending Organization said today advanced economies are risking recession, and it's spreading to more dynamic emerging economies such as China. IMF's forecast for growth in 2013 is 3.6%. That is down from 4.1% in April. Let me pull up the stocks here for you on the iPad, too. Asian stocks are mixed right now. Hong Kong's Hang Seng up slightly. The Nikkei in Japan down a full percentage point. Over in Europe, stocks mostly down as well in the opening trading. Stocks closed lower on Wall Street. The Dow Industrial lost 26 points on Monday. Opens today at 13,584, and it looks like a mostly flat start to the trading day today. Today, Neiman Marcus releases its annual extravagant holiday gift catalog with gifts of more than $1 million. The problem many of us are having, problems buying simple things like prescriptions. We'll explain that coming up in a few minutes.
Dan, here's something else that we're also following today. More explosive rhetoric from North Korea. North Korea now says South Korea, Japan, Guam, and the U.S. mainland are all within range of its missiles. That's an apparent response to South Korea's recent announcement that the U.S. agreed to let it have longer-range missiles capable of hitting all of North Korea. Later today, we're expecting a response from the Obama administration. And while you were sleeping, the Mexican Navy announced that top Zetas drug cartel leader Heriberto Lascano was killed in a firefight with Marines. The Navy says there is strong evidence the body of one of the 2 men killed is the drug kingpin. Forensics tests will be conducted to confirm the identification. New this morning, travel companies say they're getting permits once again to take Americans on cultural trips to Cuba. At least 20 have been granted a month. U.S. travel companies reported delays in processing licenses for legal group travel to Cuba. The Obama administration reinstituted the licenses over a year ago, allowing organizations to take U.S. citizens to the country for educational activities that promote contact with ordinary Cubans. Right now, police are searching for the people involved in a shootout that happened at a Tampa gas station. Those shots were fired at the Sunoco gas station on East Hillsborough Avenue. Police later found a car that left the scene. They found it on East Comanche near Hillsborough. One person was hit several times and then rushed to the hospital. There was no word on suspects or what may have even started this whole shootout. We've been making phone calls to Tampa police this morning. We are still waiting to hear back. And we're also waiting for autopsy results to determine why a South Florida man died after winning a roach eating contest. Edward Archibald became ill on Friday, not long after downing dozens of roaches and worms at the contest in Deerfield Beach. None of the other contestants got sick.
Good morning, everybody. We'll take a look at our drive time forecast for today. Some patchy fog, haze possible on your drive in this morning. Low to mid-70s to start the day. And then driving home, only a 20% chance of an isolated shower, and nighttime highs will be in the mid-80s.
Coming up on ABC Action News this morning, fighting back against school bullies. Up next, see what happened to a brave teen as he was being interviewed by a news crew. But first this morning, here's Captain Al. Good morning, Captain Al.
Hey, good morning, Dia. Good Tuesday morning, everybody. Well, it's still very dark out here. You can see the little bit of the dawn. We're over I-75 right at Brisbane Downs. We're going to move up to the apex. Might be some fog on the ground. We'll have a look from above, and there's have a complete traffic report. That's coming up. Action News this morning. We'll be right back.
Magic Johnson and Kathy Ireland, each famous in one career, but even more successful in another. How can you find the courage to start something new? On the next All News Katie.
Today at 3 on your ABC Action News station.
When storms threaten, get the exact time they'll hit on ABC Action News.
He learned about responsibility at an early age. Bill Nelson paid his own way through school, served his country, married Grace, raised a family. 40 years later, they're still together. He exposed the lies of BP and stood up to the insurance companies and Wall Street banks. He's fought for education, Medicare, and Social Security. Faith, fairness, responsibility. Bill Nelson, fighting for Florida. Always has, always will.
I'm Bill Nelson, and I approve this message.
Still looking for a cold sore product that works for you? Then try new Oragel Single Dose. The patented cold sore treatment penetrates to relieve pain instantly, and healing begins with just one dose. New Oragel Single Dose Cold Sore Treatment. One day, one dose, healing begins.
Direct injection. 265 foot-pounds of torque. All part of an engine built to effortlessly power through whatever challenge lies around the corner, no matter where that corner happens to be. The 308 horsepower Cadillac SRX, the most powerful standard engine in any luxury crossover. Take advantage of these exceptional offers on the stunning SRX crossover today.
It's the final week of the Columbus Day event at Ashley Furniture Home Store. Discover what's new with the grand reopening of our Lakeland store. Still celebrating at all 5 Tampa area locations. Save on our new, sleek, sophisticated Metro Modern collection. Plus, get 48 months no interest throughout the store. Fashionable furniture at fabulous prices with 48 months no interest throughout the store. Hurry, the Columbus Day event ends Monday at Ashley Furniture Home Store, the #1 name in furniture.
If you've been injured on the job and have questions about your case, visit our website, forthepeople.com, in the privacy of your own home. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
A news anchor who stood up to bullies. Next, Ellen.
Today at 4. At ABC Action News, domestic violence awareness is a year-round commitment. If you or someone you know may be a victim of domestic violence or dating violence, call 1-800-500-1119.
Brought to you by Sykes Enterprises and the Allstate Foundation.
Welcome back to ABC Action News, 6:42 on an early Tuesday morning. Sun's still about 45 minutes from coming up. Just peeking over the horizon there, and those pictures courtesy of Captain Al. He's watching the roads along with Meredith Sensulo. Wayne Shattuck standing by with an action weather update here in just a few minutes. Meantime, I have the results of a Consumer Reports Index just released in the past few minutes, and with the election just a month away, there is discouraging news. Financial troubles are growing worse and now spreading to the middle class. The Consumer Reports Trouble Tracker shows financial troubles up sharply for the second month in a row. The organization finding it's not just low-income families who are suffering. Now middle-income families are also feeling the pinch. The most pervasive problem, difficulty paying for medicines and medical care. A fundamental issue is jobs. Consumer Reports reporting the unemployment index is now below 50, meaning more people are losing jobs than gaining them.
Jobs are key to getting the economy moving. Without secure employment, people don't want to spend. And that's crucial as we enter the last quarter of the year.
The Consumer Reports Index does find that some people are optimistic, especially those between the ages of 18 and 34. In fact, in the last month, that group has gotten more upbeat about their financial situation.
17 minutes till 7 now. It's as much an American tradition as holiday shopping. I'm talking about post-holiday debt. So this morning, we're taking action for your money, helping you trim some costs to help you stash some cash before Black Friday. And here's one idea for you. Dig in your wallet to find and sell unwanted gift cards. It may come as a surprise, but the average household has about $300 worth of unused gift cards just laying around somewhere. An online gift card exchange won't give the full value of the card, but something is better than nothing at all. Second tip, stop paying for text messages and overage fees. There are a variety of free texting apps that can save you money there.
The story is
Oh, I didn't see.
And you'll tap into all of that through an app on your phone, as opposed to just using your standard texting on your mobile phone. Free of charge. The only thing you'll have to put up with are some ads here and there, of course.
And finally, adjust your tax withholding instead of waiting for the usual fat refund in the spring. It's as simple as filing a new W-4 form with your employer. The changes can take effect with your next paycheck and could put almost $500 in your bank account over the next 2 months. And Wayne, of course, every little bit counts, especially when you have kids that want everything under the sun for Christmas.
That's exactly right. Yeah. Hey, we've got a little bit of haze and fog to deal with this morning, folks. Generally north and east of Tampa Bay, some light fog at Zephyr Hills and Tampa Executive Airport. Also some haze at Plant City and Bartow. And up north, light fog at Inverness now and Crystal River. It's a little bit thicker at Brooksville, 3/4 of a mile visibility there. Outside of that fog, we've got, at least in our central and southern counties, mostly clear skies. We've got some thin partial cloudiness coming in from the north here, but there's no rain out there this morning, and overall rain chances are going to be extremely slim for today. Right now in St. Petersburg, we've got 77 degrees with northerly winds at 3 miles per hour. And we have in Tampa 74 degrees, 75 in Hudson. It's 70 in Zephyr Hills, 71 in Lakeland. One spot that's dropped a little cooler than the 70s. Brandon, you folks are at 69 degrees this hour. And around the country, much, much chillier up north. And as a matter of fact, most of the 48 states are in the 40s and 50s. We've got some 60s in the desert Southwest and also southern Texas. And the warmest part in the 48 states is Tampa and much of Florida with temperatures in the 70s. But here's where it's really chilly. This darker blue coloring here from Tennessee and parts of Kentucky up the Ohio River Valley into New England, those are 30s. And we also have 30s and even 20s up in the higher elevations of the Rockies, but 30s at Denver, Billings, Montana, and Fargo, North Dakota. Very chilly air north of us. But I'm afraid that really cooler air is not going to come to us. It's going to move out onto the east, but we are going to get drier air coming in from two fronts. This first one coming through today, a secondary one coming through Wednesday night or Thursday, and that's going to give us enough dry air to keep us dry for the rest of the week after today. But look what's happening up here. That's so chilly. We've got some rain and snow mixed in parts of Montana down into Wyoming, western sections of North Dakota, and then that rain extends eastward into the Great Lakes. In the northeast and mid-Atlantic, some light to moderate showers here around Virginia through Washington, D.C., to Delmarva, all the way up to parts of Massachusetts now, but it's generally light to moderate. And for us, well, we don't have anything going on except this front coming through. There's enough moisture ahead of it that we might get just a little bit of scattered shower activity this afternoon. So here's the next 3 days. Mostly sunny to partly cloudy. Today, a 20% chance of an isolated shower, mid to upper 80s. Then, from Friday through your all-important weekend, we will see upper 80s and partly cloudy and dry conditions. Now, let's check in with Captain Al in Action Air 1.
Hey, good morning, Wayne. Well, you were talking about that fog. You can see it very clearly. We are up at the Apex, I-75 and I-275, and it looks like those cars just vanish right into it. From this point north, it's pretty foggy, but just a little bit south of here, Bruce B. Downs at 75 is fine, and 275 at Pierce. So this may be advancing to the south, but for now, just affecting up here in the Pasco County line area. Otherwise, I-75 down along the east side looks fine. I-275, of course, 3 lanes each direction. That's new. All the way into Tampa, no delays to speak of. Let's check with Meredith for more traffic.
Starting to get very busy along I-4 near the Florida State Fairgrounds. Oncoming cars you see are westbound, but still under a 10-minute drive from I-75 into downtown Tampa. Busy near Tampa International Airport as well, southbound Memorial Highway, and that's 275 in the distance, but also delay-free at this point. We do have a crash being reported with some roadblocks southbound Florida at Bierce in North Tampa. Captain Al is going to shoot that way. We'll have an update in just a couple of minutes. Little fender bender at Sheldon and Waters, no roadblock, and an accident Gandy Boulevard at McDill. The fire department's on scene. More updates on Twitter at Tampa Bay Traffic. Dia, back to you.
Thank you, Meredith. It is 6:48 now. Pay attention to this video here. Just some amazing video caught on camera. A camera crew got quite a surprise in Maryland. This all happened while they were interviewing a high school student about bullying when suddenly that student was assaulted right in front of the news crew. As Preston Diener got ready for his interview, 3 boys approached and one just started hitting him in the head. But when the attack happened, the camera caught Preston being chased back to his school. Preston fought back that time, but says he has now learned to go to school administration when he's bullied, especially after what happened last week.
The student tackled me, and I responded punching him back to stand up for myself for the first time.
Well, the school suspended Preston for 3 days for fighting back, and now his mother is hoping that the school will take action against the bullies. School officials say they are investigating the whole incident, and they're working to find out who exactly was involved.
Time now 6:49, 11 till 7, a stag party you don't want to be invited to. The unlucky fellow who wished he didn't encounter $2.
ABC Action News is brought to you by Legoland Water Park.
Are you ready to play your part at Legoland? Fight fires and save the day. Battle your way to ancient treasure. Challenge the dragon and defend the kingdom. Be a giant and marvel at the wonder of Miniland, USA. Legoland, Florida, just 45 minutes from Orlando and Tampa. Come play your part. Kids go free with special Kids Go Free code on small Frosty cups at participating Wendy's restaurants.
Everyone knows that 1-800-ASK-GARY has been helping accident victims. Now, Ask Gary may be able to help you more than ever. Ask Gary has an important warning for patients who have taken Pradaxa. Pradaxa may cause internal bleeding and possibly death. If you have taken Pradaxa, call 1-800-ASK-GARY now. Ask Gary is available 24/7 to take your call. Knowledge is power. Call now. 1-800-ASK-GARY is a medical and lawyer referral service, non-attorney spokesperson.
I'm Barack Obama, and I approve this message.
This was dishonest.
I'm not in favor of a $5 trillion tax cut.
Romney's being dishonest here, too.
According to an independent, nonpartisan study, Barack Obama and the liberals will raise taxes on the middle class.
The chairman of that so-called independent group is from Romney's former company. Dick Cheney's on its board. Newt Gingrich was there, too. It's not independent. It's just not true.
I get a new flavor every time I come, and it always ends up being my favorite.
Everyone's loving IHOP's latest signature pancakes.
That's definitely pumpkin.
I love the carrot cake. It's so different.
IHOP signature pancakes starting at just $4.99.
That's straight up New York cheesecake right there.
IHOP, everything you love about breakfast.
I don't spend money on gasoline.
I am probably going to the gas station about once a month.
Last time I was at a gas station was about, I would say, 2 months ago.
I very rarely put gas in my Chevy Volt.
I go to the gas station such a small amount that I forget how to put gas in my car.
And it's not just these owners giving the Volt high praise. Volt received the J.D. Power & Associates Appeal Award 2 years in a row.
Feeling better on your antidepressant, but still experiencing symptoms of depression? The Depression Outreach Study may be able to help. Our team of medical professionals is evaluating an investigational drug that's taken with your current antidepressant to see if it helps lessen symptoms of depression. Study-related medications, including your current antidepressant, will be provided at no cost. Call 888-204-3588. That's 888-204-3588. Or visit understandingyouroptions.com.
Being involved in a car accident is a confusing, devastating time. Unfortunately, the most confusing issue will probably be trying to navigate your insurance policy. Know your rights. If you've been involved in a serious car accident, call Catania Catania. We put families first.
ABC Action News is brought to you by Catania and Catania.
I'm John Thomas with one of the 5 things you need to know before you go. I'm in Pasco County, where they're trying to crack down on the sale of K2 and Spice. When we talk about K2 and Spice, we're really talking in generic terms. We're referring to synthetic drugs, and that's what they're targeting here. So they're doing that now by proposing to make it a violation to sell products that are mislabeled, like bath salts or potpourri. So to curb that, at 10 o'clock this morning, the county commission is going to look at a proposed ordinance. And that ordinance basically says if we find these mislabeled packages, each packet found is going to carry a $500 fine.
I'm Laura Harris, live at the USF Tampa campus, where yet another sexual assault has been reported, this time happening at the Epsilon Residence Hall and not at the Kappa Residence Hall. Police say they are still actively searching for the persons responsible. If you have any information, you're asked to call campus police.
Former Penn State football coach Jerry Sandusky is just hours away from learning his fate. He is being sentenced today and could get up to 440 years in prison. That is the maximum for his conviction on 45 counts of child sex abuse. He could get as few as 10 years in prison if the judge orders concurrent prison time, in which Sandusky would serve the sentence for each count at the same time.
Yeah, looking at some fog along the I-4 corridor in western Polk, eastern Hillsborough County. A pretty shot here, though, of I-4 near Paul Buckman Highway. Let's give you another live view, this time in the Brandon area, where northbound 75 starting to get busy there at State Road 60, but currently accident-free. Bay Area bridges, so far so good. South Tampa, look out for a crash. Gandy at McDill. North Tampa, an accident southbound Florida at Beers. Captain Al has just arrived on scene and has an update. Al.
Hey, good morning, Marathon. I can't tell exactly what has happened here. We only see the vehicle and perhaps a pedestrian right in the middle of the road, so it's neither on the right-hand side would be southbound where they're directing it now, but that's getting by as well as northbound. Not a problem. About a block north of Beers. So they're in the process of investigating it. Now some of them are pulling off, so this should be back to normal. 275 from Beers all the way into downtown. It is busy, seeing some brake lights, but it seems to be getting to downtown okay. Have a great Tuesday. Here's Wayne with your action weather forecast.
Thank you, Captain Al. Well, we're detailed the fog and haze that we've got this morning. And again, it's mostly light, not particularly thick. Light fog being reported at Tampa Executive Airport, also up at Zephyr Hills. Haze at Plant City and also in Bartow. Light fog at Crystal River and Inverness. 3/4 of a mile visibility at Brooksville. And we've had mostly clear skies this morning, but we've got some clouds moving in through our northern counties, moving towards the Bay Area. But that will diffuse a little bit later on this morning. We'll go to partly cloudy skies and mostly dry conditions for the day. 74 in Tampa now, 77 degrees in St. Petersburg. Clearwater has 73 degrees. We're headed for a high today in the mid-80s and only a 20% chance of an isolated shower. Dan.
Thank you, Wayne. At 6:55, hot on the web this morning. In fact, the most viewed video in the Bay Area this morning makes you wonder, what was he thinking? A man walking along a path in West London notices a couple of bucks, stags, facing off in the grass, and he just had to get a closer look. That proved to be a life-threatening mistake. Oh dear. One of the stags corners the man against a tree. Around and around they go. The stag trying to get his point, or points, across. The man finally realizes there's nowhere to go but up.
Oh, man.
So he goes up the tree to safety, and the person who was filming this whole thing finally decides to turn off the video camera and call police.
And stop laughing and then call police. Yeah, I know what he was thinking. He wasn't.
He wasn't thinking, exactly. Everything turned out okay, we understand.
Yeah,
good news for him.
that fence was there.
Yeah, really. Good Morning America is coming up next.
Keep ABC Action News working for you all day, on air, online, on Facebook, and on Twitter. Have a great Tuesday.